Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ModRaiders podcast, a podcast where you get to see everything from a content creator's point of view. It's made by content creators for the entire world. And today, I'm actually very lucky to have a very, very special guest, someone that I got familiar with last year when I was given information about a lovely moment of charity work for us to work together. Minty, as I like to call Minty, because that way you don't use your real name, is a member of Stream for a Cause. Stream for a Cause, and just in case if anyone doesn't know, pretty much is revolutionizing the approach. Revolutionizing. This will be cut. Revolutionizing the approach of charitable giving through content creation, and their beliefs is that numerous crucial organizations miss out on support through charity streams due to the absence of content creator programs. They seek out streamers who embody community-centered values to fundraise, and they subsequently convert those funds into grants and organizational support for smaller grassroots and community-based nonprofits globally engaged in remarkable daily efforts. And we are very, very lucky that not only Minty is a streamer, but also on top of that is the director of operations for Stream for a Cause. So Minty's thoughts, thank you for being here. Hello, lovely.
Of course. Hi. And speaking of names, my name's on the website, so like if they want to know my name that badly, they can just go find out.
It's just right there.
Yeah, it's right there. It's not very hidden. I have made a group of friends on Twitch, and we all just use our real names with each other at this point. It's just how it is. But no, I'm glad to be here.
No, but you know what? I don't say it so that we can work for it. They go to the Stream for a Cause website, they check
Exactly.
information, and that way you can immediately see how can you support this lovely and amazing cause.
Yeah, they'll have to find the info, and then they'll go digging through, find our page, with all of our names on it. But also while they're digging, they can learn more about what we do, and what we're here to do.
Exactly. We make them work for it. So, Minty, I'm thank you so much for agreeing to do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's so important that us as content creators, yes, we are all about the content and making sure people are having fun and everything. But there is also this side to it that I feel like it's important for us to also engage with, which is how to give back to a community that maybe you're not necessarily a part of, but that you can really provide that extra coin to make something happen for them. And I feel like that is such an important aspect of content creation, streaming, that I don't necessarily know if a lot of people are familiar with it. So we're gonna totally talk about it in just a few minutes. But first of all, I do want to say Minty is in fact a streamer. You can totally check their content out. Actually, I was checking your Twitch, and you were playing Darkest Dungeon, I believe. That was the last game that you played. And I've seen a little bit of Darkest Dungeon, and that is a wild game.
It's a fun game.
Because it's kind of the and I'm being a little sidetracked here, but it's kind of like permadeath type of situation, correct?
Yeah. No, you literally go into it, and the first thing you see after like the the logos and stuff, you boot up the game, is there's literally a message that tells you you're going to fail.
Oh my god! What a lovely thing.
Get used to it. You're gonna fail.
A lot.
Yeah, things are gonna go bad, and that's just how the game is, and it's great.
That's wild. That's wild. But tell us a little bit about you. Tell us a little bit about Mintius_thoughts. What was Mintius like as a kid?
Mintius as a kid, well, he was not very outgoing, but that's mostly because of a very, very, very early introduction of games as like 3 years old. My dad surprised my brother with a N64. And he's older than me, so I would actually like go and pick up the controller when no one was in the room and start playing with it. And eventually, I'm literally 3 years old, and I'm just sitting there playing games. I'm literally sitting there playing 007 GoldenEye on the N64 at 3 years old. And my family like walked back in the room and were like, "What the heck is?" And so it's just like stuff like that kind of, it's just it hooked me into games very quickly in my life. And through gaming, it's allowed me to create a lot of online friendships. I discovered how to use computers for this stuff. I learned a lot of my reading comprehension through playing games as a kid. And so like my reading level was always higher than a lot of my classmates in like elementary and middle school. Um, I had I don't know, I think there's a lot of skills you do learn from playing games. Like hand-eye coordination,
Mm-hmm.
like I said, reading comprehension, just like stuff like that. Things that were kind of like overlooked because back then, like in the early '90s, there was still that huge debate of like, are games good for people? Like, do they have benefits at all? A lot of that stuff, but games definitely shaped me for who I am. They've been a part of my life a lot. There are times where I've been very addicted to playing games too much, and I can admit that because I know it's true.
Same.
Um,
It's valid.
yeah, no, it's absolutely. I mean, no shame in it. Honestly, I don't regret it because it's a lot of fun. It was
Yeah.
obviously very fun playing games at the time. Um, but like besides that, I've had like very close friendships growing up. I'm actually still best friends with my friend from second grade. We actually lost
Wow.
connection for a bit because I moved across the country. And then we reconnected actually like one summer and I stayed like a month at his house and it was just a lot of fun. And then we've been friends again since then.
Oh,
But it's like
that's
I have a lot of like, well, not a lot, but I have a lot of, I keep saying a lot.
nice. Just say a
I don't
lot.
have a lot, but I do have a lot. Yeah. I have a tight knit group of really close friends. Um, but like I don't have a lot of friends overall. I have a lot of acquaintances. I'm not good at like maintaining friendships because I'm not good at being that person that reaches out to people.
That's
I'm
valid.
much more like, hey, if you want to come hang out, you want to come, just talk, whatever. I'm always here to do that stuff. I'm always down to do it. I'm just not good at seeking it myself. I'm very content just doing my own thing, playing my own games. Actually,
I
like
feel you.
so I could sit here all day, like on a weekend, and just play a bunch of games by myself. Like single player RPGs or whatever.
On the phone, on
And
the PC, on anything. Yeah.
yeah, if I'm not here, I'm upstairs on my phone. So it's just like I'm always just like on a device, which just has me distracted. But like for example, my we'll talk about him, and I'm sure soon here too because of Stream for a Cause. But my husband Robbie, he can't always like he needs very specific single player games to play, but for the most part, he just gets bored of that. He wants to talk to somebody, he wants to play games with somebody, like he wants to do something with somebody. And I'm fine with that too, right? Like I'm fine with that, but I'm also just really good at being in my own space. I'm good at
Yeah.
being alone and doing my own thing and just having a good time and relaxing. And I'm a very laid back person. I'm very easy and I'm very easygoing. Um, you can ask like anybody know like I have 2,500 hours sadly in Dead by Daylight. And like
Listen. As someone who prides themselves as a Michaela main,
oh god,
through and through, because I
I
mean,
got places to be. I'll be back in a bit.
who do you main?
uh Both sides. Survivor side, I am an ace main. I haven't played DVD in a while, but I was always like
Let
ace.
me
I
stop
I
recording right
was
now.
so okay, here's the thing. So I know it's considered like ace is considered to be like stronger because he's quiet and stuff with his his grunts of pain. Um
He is.
That's what everyone says. I mean, it is true. They might have changed it recently,
I don't
but
play him, so
that was
I
always
wouldn't
the
really
case.
know.
But I picked up Ace because I started playing DVD back when Michael Myers got introduced, and right
Oh.
after Michael Myers was Ace in the Hag, and I was like, "Oh my god, his perk like crap! I'm gonna play him," and that was my sole reason for playing him, and I've stuck with him ever since.
I love that. I'm a Michaela main through and through. And for me, for killer, I also play DVD. I don't know the
Yeah.
hours because I play on Epic. I was one of those Epic babies. You know what? There was
Oh,
a
okay.
moment where
Yeah.
Epic
Yeah.
Games had, but they left for free. I went,
Yep.
snatched it. Um,
Exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know how many hours I truly have. I don't know if you can check on Epic Games. Please correct me if I'm wrong, please.
No idea.
Yeah, I mean Michaela. I play David a little bit here and there. I've been really liking playing Jeff as well lately. I like Jeff a
Hmm.
lot.
Yeah,
And for
Jeff is amazing. Jeff and Adam are both amazing.
I
They don't get
love
enough play.
Adam. Love
Adam
him.
gets some of the coolest outfits.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Adam get when Adam gets stuff, he gets good stuff. Remember that there was I'm fully derailing this, but do you know that there's there was a like a voting that was for a Christmas outfit, and the things that lose, one of them was Adam's Christmas outfit, which I don't think we ended up getting whatsoever, but it was probably one of my favorite Christmas outfits from DVD ever.
I don't remember what it looks like, but I do remember that voting because I definitely voted in that poll.
I voted too.
But
DVD.
yeah.
Yeah, because that was when Michaela got the Ice Princess outfit, I
Yep.
think. Yeah,
Yep.
that's the
Exactly.
one.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, I'm guilty. I voted for it because Robbie likes Michaela. I voted for his character basically.
See,
He loves
your
Michaela. I
husband and I
saw
have
that.
taste.
Yeah.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying you
On that
don't. I'm
though,
not saying you don't.
opposite side, I am a blight main, and I had a reputation because we did a lot of charity tournaments in the Stream for a Cause space,
Mm.
and I had that reputation of being like the scary blight to go against, and people like always they'd be afraid to just play against me, and then it was fun. But I haven't played in a few months. I've been taking. I'm not sure if it's like a break or if I'm just like done playing it, but it's always a game I could go back to pretty easily. It's always fun.
Yeah,
I always
I had to
enjoy
take a break after Christmas because I was doing quite a lot of DVD, and I just was like, I
I just
cannot.
wanted to do other stuff. That's all I
Yes,
wanted to do.
yes, and
But
then I
yeah,
regretted
but
because then the next tome came out, and I fully forgot to
yep,
play it and buy it, and there was some fillet stuff that I really wanted, but I was like, I'm not
yeah.
wasting my money on it.
I wanted that toy dredge outfit, but
Oh, it was so
I didn't
good.
play that tome at all. I completely
Dredge is
skipped it.
very fun to play as.
I love dredge, yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, but it's like I don't really get upset at these like multiplayer games. Like I play League of Legends, I play Dead by Daylight, I play online card games like Magic the Gathering, and I'm good at keeping a calm head when playing games like these. Like they don't really frustrate me uh very often, and people notice that and they're like, wow, cool. They're like, how do you do it? I'm like, I don't know, it's just how I am. And like I have okay, so I have a friend. And this is actually a perfect example. He is he grew up playing fighting games, and fighting games are very, very sweaty comparatively to other genres. And because of that, he has a very competitive nature, and he looks at a lot of things like a patch note for a game. He's like, he'll critique every little thing on that patch note, and like be like, "Well, this is the worst thing ever. This is the best thing ever." Like stuff like that. He goes super hard to the wall on everything he sees on those notes, and then when I talk to him, I kind of like level him down a bit, and just like I kind of make him like more level headed, and just like be like, it could be bad, but it could be worse. And like it's like it's not just because there's a bad change in a game, which means the end of the world. Like it's not like the worst thing ever supposed to happen to you.
Very that,
But
and
it's
on
just
top of that, like we have
you know
like it's very tricky because on one end, like it sucks when your game doesn't go well,
yeah,
but on the
yeah.
other, you're like, it's a game, baby. It's a game. Things like this can happen. You're not gonna win them all. It's okay to lose. It's okay to lose embarrassingly as well, or worse, it's awful to lose because your teammates aren't carrying you, or even worse in DVD when they willingly sell you out to the killer. Which happened to me
Yes.
last week, mother effers. I'm not mad. But yeah, I feel you on that. And also, I want to also comment something that you mentioned back when you were a child, that you
Yep.
played a lot of games and that it helped you with your reading comprehension and your hand to eye coordination. Because there are these games that, even though sometimes they feel difficult or sometimes they feel like they aren't necessarily for kids or anything like that, that's why they have the rating
Yeah.
system, of course, which is very important to follow as well, so that crazy things don't happen. But there's still games, for instance, like Zelda. Zelda really, like, it pushes you to understand puzzles, how to
Yes, yeah,
engage
that
different aspects of combat. Like it helps you build a strategic mind as well. So there
it
are
does.
these benefits that in video games do in fact have. But when you have people that are choosing to, instead of focus on the good stuff, they focus on the things that are pretty much satanizing the entire industry and say video games are bad for you and everything. All video games are not the same. They're, they don't all share the same goal. Some of them are insanely gory, insanely violent, but there are some that are a jewel that really helps you do certain stuff. Like for instance, I don't know if you heard this game. It's called My Dragon Cancer. There is this is game that a couple made because they were dealing with the fact that they lost their child because of cancer, and they did an entire game dedicated to the life of their child through mini games, through everything, so that we can cope with the loss of their kid. I think it actually won for in the gaming awards a couple of years ago,
Mhm.
an award for it. And that's what it is that video games are a media or a way to really be able to convey an emotion, convey or help to build a smarter brain. Like there are these benefits, but sometimes it just goes on the it's too violent, it's too gory, and not all games are like that, which is very
No, I mean,
unfortunate.
even if they are, like, I actually have another friend who he he literally has told me, he's like, I I don't like he doesn't see the violence in video games as a bad thing because he has no urge to act upon that stuff as most people do, right? Because it's just a silly thought. And if he ever is frustrated, sometimes he plays a violent video game and it makes him less frustrated at things. He's
That's
like,
also
okay, cool.
valid.
I take my frustration out on this thing, or like some people they take the frustration out on a punching bag, or whatever. It's just there are so many different like things that games do for us that we honestly don't even think about or take, we kind of take for granted sometimes. Like you were saying, yeah, critical thinking is a huge skill we develop from like games, like the puzzles in like Zelda and
Hmm.
every sort of thing like that. It does a lot, and it goes unnoticed sometimes. But I think it's more noticed these days. But definitely, like back when I was a kid,
Yeah,
you heard all over the news. One bad thing happened, and then you'd be asking like, "Hey, what was that kid playing video games?"
that part, and
Yeah,
it's very disheartening because then you blame an entire industry for the actions of someone. Like,
yeah,
no, they did this action. It was bad.
yep.
Focus on that. Focus on the action. Don't focus on whatever media they got to do other stuff because horror games are all horror games. Well, horror industry itself, it's also used as a way uh, to pledge. Like I did it for because there was this legend, or it was because of this movie that got inspired for me to do the killings. But it's like it's a media. It's not meant to inspire awful acts for people. You're just using that as a shield to to protect yourself from justice. Like no, like you did these things. Uh,
Right,
mm,
like a scapegoat almost.
exactly. And it's sorry if I'm making this way too heavy. I really do apologize.
Yeah, we're going like way off track into some deep territory.
Very much so. I need to catch myself eventually. But bringing it back, I want to talk to you about you had this experience with video games as a kid. Did it also influence your adult life, which is why you also managed to be part of or help to build Stream for a Cause? Is that what your relationship
It did
was?
not directly influence Stream for a Cause because Robbie, my husband, is one that built all of that by himself, basically. I did a lot of the tech stuff for that. But originally, my original dream as a kid was to become like a game designer.
Oh, nice.
Because everything I did was games, and that never happened. I finished high school. I did not go directly to college because of money issues, and then my dad tried to get me to go into the military to get money that way to go do it, which is what
Oh
he did
wow.
before. Um, I was in the Air Guard for a bit, but because of a long story, just I got out eventually. A lot of shenanigans. I'm just all gonna say, but it's like 3 years of basically doing nothing, which is wasted. And then after that, I met Robbie. We just we got together, and then eventually we got married. So that's kind of how it is. But yeah, it's just like games definitely influence a lot of what I've done in my life, but they are not what has influenced Stream for a Cause. I love that Stream for a Cause is, it's working with the gaming industry because there are a lot of passionate people in the gaming industry for multiple different reasons or different levels of passion. Um, but it's definitely, I would say at the bare minimum, because of streaming existed, it provided a perfect medium to work with people and the gaming industry combined to help other people throughout the world.
Got it. Got it. Let me ask you this, because obviously we're talking about Robbie, who is your spouse.
Yeah.
How long have you two been together?
I want to say about 9 years now.
Do you remember when you
Married
first
for
met?
one. Yes, it was like October 10th of
Oh, you know the date.
basically, yeah.
Damn.
It's like
Okay.
October 10th of, I want to say, like 2015, 16. Yeah, 15 probably.
Yeah, a little bit of
Yeah.
9 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Like,
Yeah.
and as someone who is not on the way to a happy relationship, or going to get married and stuff like that, as someone who is in fact in a marriage, in a queer marriage, in fact, uh, can you tell us a little about what it's like to just go through everyday life as a spouse, as a queer spouse? Because and I'm sorry from saying it like this, but I feel like it's important to also distinguish it, because we always see how people interact when it comes to people who are from a heterosexual relationship,
Yep.
street marriage, and everything like that. But I like hearing these stories about queer relationships and queer marriages. So can you like tell us a bit what it's like having this married life on top of everything that you also do?
I will say, truth be told, and this is the biggest thing, biggest bombshell you'll ever hear. Nothing. Literally, we got married, came back home, and like, okay, now what? We're like, we'll just keep doing what we're doing. So I don't know. It's just nothing changed at all, really. Like literally, we actually find the rings annoying to wear sometimes. So they just sit here on my desk, here and there. But we have a good relationship because we make sure that we talk things out, as any couple should, e- and I think it was proven at one point where we were basically very low income, um and a very scary situation where we made it through that, and like knowing that we can get through that, I feel like we could get through anything. And so far that's been the case. I don't think so. Another thing about me is I don't yell at all. I don't yell at anybody. I may like like raise my voice a little bit to be like to call out to somebody who's far away, but I don't like yell at somebody. I'm never like angry at somebody, and I don't think we've ever had a single fight at all in our time, like in our 9 years being together. It's just if something upsets us, we talk about it and we figure out what to do. That's it.
And it's so awesome, because it kind of helps you put everything in like a standstill, which is like, okay, let's sit down, let's figure
Yeah.
this out, what's going on, and then you can actually have a dialogue. There's
Yes.
conversation, there's communication. I always feel that that is so key for any type of relationship to work, whether it's poly, where it's open, where it's closed, where it's it someone started dating, being a boyfriend or girlfriend, or
Yeah.
whatever, or being a spouse. Communication is always key. It sets the base for everything that will happen in your relationship. If you have terrible communication, it just won't work. It just
Hmm.
won't work. So it's definitely important to really have that. Well, I love the fact that I got to know you a little bit more. I think it's absolutely incredible, and that you are such a sweet and kind individual. And I want to say this publicly, because I'm in the podcast. Thank you so much for involving me last year when it came to Hispanic Heritage Month. I was
Yeah.
able to be a part of Stream for a Cause. We raised money, and it was just an absolutely incredible experience. the way you are all organized about helping us set up the goals and everything when it came to the systems, that you had such a perfect guide. 'Cause I had to ask you, I think I asked you like one question and that was it because I figured it out. But like you explained all very, very well. So kudos to you all for that one.
Truth be told, so I handle like basically all of those like volunteer face meetings, and like 99% of the time there's either at least one question or just nothing. And they're like, you already answered it, you already explained everything already, so it's like I have nothing. And then there's that like the edge case where someone has like some really weird questions that are not normally asked, but other than that, like people have their questions answered and they feel comfortable. And that is an important thing to us about Stream for a Cause, is that everybody feels like that they are treated the same way. They have that comfort level of, you know, knowing what they're doing, knowing who they're working with, and knowing what they're supporting. All of that stuff, all that transparency is just such a key value for just who we are as an organization. So
That is true. And we're going to talk about Stream for a Cause and way more coming up next. Stick around. We're going to be back for more ModRaiders podcast. BRB. And we're back with more ModRaiders podcast. I am here with the lovely Mintias underscore Fox, a lovely streamer who not only is an amazing person that does incredible content on their part, but on top of that is a member of Stream for a Cause, specifically the director of operations. And you know, the good thing is that we've been chatting away a little bit about live content, but now let's get into what it is, the meat of the show itself, which is talk about streaming. So, Mintias, I do have a question that I do ask everyone that is a guest on my podcast, which is, when did you knew streaming was for you?
well, I wish I knew it was for me earlier, because I would have started forever ago, but I didn't. If you
Valid.
remember, I mentioned that that period of time where nothing was going on really. We were like, it was that period of time where things were kind of rocky, but we got through that situation. That was around also the time period that I should have started streaming, because I should have started before COVID hit, not when everybody else started streaming during COVID. Definitely the market streamers was very oversaturated with all the COVID streamers, which we also had a lot of like COVID streamers for volunteers at first too.
Okay.
Yeah, but no, I definitely think it was for me. It was definitely for me. I should have known. I should have known it was for me. That's just what I should say, because I like talking to people about games, and Robbie doesn't always want to talk about video games. So yeah. Plus, it helps me. It helps me talk more clearly. Ever since high school, I started like developing a faster manner of speaking, and I'm sure you've heard it. But sometimes I mumble words, or I stutter. I'm trying really hard right now. Trust me, I'm trying
Trust and
really hard.
believe. Do not worry. I go through the same thing. And the worst part is that it's in Spanish. English, I
Oh
almost have no
no! Oh
problem.
god! My
Spanish,
dad would
it's
have
a
a fit.
pain.
My dad is he is a natural born Cuban,
Oh, nice.
from Cuba, and so obviously, you know, he came from speaking only Spanish to learning English and having to slow himself down as well, because he had the same issue I did when he was growing up. But he got through it, so he speaks nice and slow, unless he's speaking Spanish or if he's angry in Spanish. But yeah, it's something that I've been trying to work on. I think it's gotten like a little better, but I still definitely have times where people like ask me like, "What'd you say? What? Huh?" Like 3, 4 times in a row. Or sometimes I'll get excited like playing a game and I'll start like talking way too fast where my mouth can't keep up with my brain or whatever. It's one of the things that I don't like about myself, and I can say that truthfully because I am very well aware of it, and I'm also aware of trying to make it not be a problem. So I try and practice talking slower, like on stream. I try to like think out my thoughts more, try to be funny. Another challenge I have.
No, and I understand you, and I feel like I agree with you. Sometimes it's just like the mouth is doing whatever the mouth is doing, the brain comes second. But I will say, even though that happens to the both of us, I feel like that way we just let it out. we let it out and we just be like, it's okay, I'm sorry if I'm talking way too much, but I need to say what I need to say, and not overthink it and just go with it. Like that happens, babes, and I don't want you to feel self-conscious about it. Like, yes, it happens, but still don't let that deter you. Like, honestly,
Yeah.
from what I've been able to hear today, you are doing a fantastic job. I definitely feel like you are someone that speaks, even though you have a, a way to speak that's a little bit faster. For me, I got you. So
Yeah.
I know you talked about how streaming was very important for you, but I want to actually do something different when it comes to my question, because I always ask, you know, the typical question, which is when did you knew streaming was for you. I actually want to take a little bit of a spin to it, and let me ask you this: when did you knew charity work was for you?
Good question. And I actually know originally it never was because I was
Okay.
not very I like I said before, I grew up wanting to be a game developer. I never actually did, I never actually did college though. College was not for me. I tried a class back when I was living, in my previous apartment with Robbie when we were first together. He's the one that got me motivated to like actually try it, and I did a class. I completed the class. I passed the class, right? I just wasn't for me, and that was fine. That was fine for him. That was fine for me, and that's just how it was. So we moved on from that. And so he has always worked in charity stuff. He's always done like jobs that have been related to charity work or helping somebody. And
Mm-hmm.
eventually, due to COVID and the lockdown, that's when the idea of Stream for a Cause came about. From some other reasons that I won't really go into right now. But him starting a Stream for a Cause, excuse me,
No
is
worries.
kind of what got me into charity work because it combined what I love doing, which is playing games, and also later streaming.
Mhm.
Another later love I learned, with helping others, and that's really cool. Like I can help somebody like you, which I have before, or another volunteer set up their charity events, and their charity events get to help somebody that is like across the world from them, and that's just a cool thing. And it's just it's a cool concept to be able to put your passions into support for another person. And so eventually when Stream for a Cause did start, and we started like seeing volunteers for the first time and like explaining what we do and like getting to work with volunteers and these passionate people, that love of nonprofit work also then developed within me.
Yeah, and especially if you go to the website for Stream for a Cause, which I totally recommend.
It's a
It
very
is
cute website.
streamforacause.org. Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's streamforacause.org. Wonderful.
Good. Yep.
And you actually get to see not only the different things that you have done, but also the different um, grant recipients that have been, helped by you all. Like I can name like a few, for instance, Neither Knockers. I can name Harvest Hope. I can name, for instance, All Sorts Youth Project. And I feel, and there's also an Australian one. Let me see if I can
Yes.
find it. Transgender Victoria,
Yes.
which is where I actually, because of Transgender Victoria, because a friend of mine called Mew02 was doing a charity stream
Mm,
for them,
yes.
and that's how I knew of their name. So when the opportunity came for me to work with you, I was checking the grant recipients, and that's when I found Transgender Victoria, and I went, "Oh, I know them. They have been received a certain help from them. Okay, then I guess that's enough for me to be like, okay, let's do it." You know?
Fun story about that actually. I don't know Mew personally, but I've talked with Mew before because somebody that is friends with them who's also a volunteer of ours, they came to me and said, well, sorry, they sent Mew to me, and Mew was like, "Hey, do you guys have a connection to TGV? Like, is there a way that you can help me get support to them?" And obviously we couldn't like do direct support through us to them because we have like a whole process to go through, but we like I was able to direct him to like, hey, like here's how you can donate to TGV, here's how you can set stuff up. I still helped him with his charity stuff, his charity stream, But I know the exact stream you're talking about because it was like half a year ago, I think.
Yeah,
It's pretty
it was
recent.
when Mew shaved his head, and
Yes,
he's
yes,
been
yes,
a
yes.
bald
Yep.
mother effer since then. Love
Yeah,
you,
yeah.
Mew.
No, I 100% know him, and yeah,
But yeah, that was
which
why
is cool.
that was what convinced me to work with you. Actually, it was like, okay, I have something in common with you. Then also shout out to Transgender Victoria, which are located in Australia. So go please go support our trans brothers and sisters. Listen, thank you. Wherever part of the world that they are, please, please,
Absolutely,
please.
always.
And also a good thing about Stream for a Cause is that you do this thing where it's like you raise money and then you turn that into grants and opportunities to give uh, to this charity. So can you tell us a little bit about what is like the process of searching for a charity, be searching for streamers, and see how everything just ties together?
Yeah, I mean, I would say that's actually more of what Robbie does. So I do a lot of the volunteer facing stuff, like I said before. I work on the website, I work on planning the events, I work on a lot of like the more, not to say manual labor, but I work on a lot like the more like the day-to-day tasks. My job as the director of operations is to do all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I basically make sure that Stream for Cause is running, whereas Robbie gets to facilitate, working with the other nonprofits. He gets to talk with them directly. He talks to me about that stuff, obviously, because it's important that I know what's going on too. And I can tell you that like it's not an easy process finding nonprofits because for those who are not aware, Stream for a Cause works with smaller nonprofits.
Mm-hmm.
We only work with places that have a lower budget. You won't see us working with places like we like to call them name brand nonprofits. So like your Red Cross, your Salvation Army, your St. Jude's, like those places are awesome. No, like they're all great big nonprofits. They all do a lot of awesome work for people, but they are not where we give our support to because they don't need it. Like you were saying, we support these smaller communities, and getting to learn about these small places and learn about like their struggles or like how they started nonprofit. Like Robbie has actually told me like how certain places start their nonprofits because he's talking with like their current founder, and it's some of it is very heart wrenching and it's tough. And like I will see Robbie get out of a meeting and like so he doesn't cry very often. But when he gets out of these meetings, oh my god, he's just like his face is like flushed, like his eyes are like
Poor
sometimes just like
baby.
red from tearing up, and it's a lot of it's a lot sometimes. But it definitely is a lot of work also finding the places. So we do look at when we, I should say Robbie. So when Robbie is finding a nonprofit, he looks at their financial history, he looks at their leadership history, program history, everything we possibly can look at to
Wow.
find the best places that we can support, and so that our volunteers, who are all lovely people, can feel proud of supporting these places that we are, finding. It all goes hand in hand with that stuff. As for finding volunteers, we want to find people that are passionate, people that want to do charity work. People like yourself. Just it's
Hi.
just people that gravitate towards what we do. They're already a right fit. We know they are because of them. If they find us, there's a good chance they're already a right fit. Put it that way. But yeah, it all comes together though to create a very awesome nonprofit that I feel very proud of, working for. It's great work. It's fun. There are times definitely like Pride Month is very busy for us. We are not a queer organization directly, but I would easily say 80% or more of our volunteers are queer in some form or another. I'm in a you know, I'm in a I am in a relationship with a man.
The way you
um,
just struggled so hard to say, I'm in a relationship with a man.
I'm gay.
No. No way.
It's just like we do a lot of support for Pride organizations throughout the year, and for us, Pride Month is the kickoff for our year of Pride support.
Mhm.
We do a lot of support for Pride places, and even if it's not a Pride organization directly, it's places that are also offering their services to queer folk because not
Mhm.
all places do that, which is really
That is
sucky.
true.
And like best example I can give you is like a shelter. It may be a shelter that is just welcoming to all, but not unless you're not unless you're gay or you're queer, or you're
Yeah.
lesbian or trans. It's just no, get out. It's like no, that's stupid. We only find places that are either they support queer folk directly or they are welcoming queer folk with their service. Those are important things to us because of not only ourselves being queer, but our volunteers being queer. It's just it's important stuff. But yeah,
Yeah, and that entire process, uh, uh, it must not be easy. And hearing the way that your husband, sometimes leaves meetings, it's not an easy job to really, having to talk to the charities to learn about them. Obviously, once that conversation starts going, you also have to learn about their backstory, and
yeah,
backstories aren't necessarily the prettiest ones or the nicer ones. Usually involve serious trauma, and you have to be respectful, and you have to, whether you like it or not, you need to have a heart to do this type of job, to really be able to open your horizons and be like, it's time. Let's just help. Let's help humans support each other, love each other, and do it in the best way that we can. And with this case, it's through grants, it goes through small charities, but that they actually do a great job that many people, but I will count myself even, we don't do. So and as small as you can raise like 100, 200, or 5,000, who knows, what you raise still makes a difference,
it does.
still is something that is going to go to some charity that will absolutely can use that money. And that is what is extremely important for us as content creators, is that we get the subs, we get the bits, we get the donations and stuff like that, but why don't you give back as well every once in a while too? Like, it's totally fun to do it, and I'm saying this also as a critique to myself, because I've only been able to do it just once, because I'm still going through my own situation, but I still want to provide that support, provide that help, and even if it's by just reposting or
Yeah.
saying, hey, go to this person that is raising money for this cause, like, just those small things can make a difference.
Again, yeah, and on that note as well of you only doing one, there's nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with only doing one event. Or I've actually had volunteers, they sign up, they fill out the volunteer form, and then I don't hear a word from them, not a peep, for like a year. And that's happened. And then they do an event with us and they're like, okay, cool, I'm happy to be here. And that's fine. We have no sort of like pressure on people. We don't want people to feel pressured at all with anything they're doing. Um, yeah, we just want people to have a good time raising money for charity and doing it with their communities. And like you said, every dollar matters because it goes together with the other volunteers, campaigns and
That
fundraisers,
part.
and it goes towards providing these grants, providing our coaching services, providing our new program Pixel Care coming up like in July, I think. But it's just like it does it does a lot. It's a group effort to support other people. And one thing we do too is we make it as easy as possible. The whole process, as you've learned, you've been through the volunteer process. You've
Yes.
done a charity stream with us.
Mm-hmm.
We make it as easy as possible, not only on the volunteers, but also on the nonprofits we support, because it should be easy to support somebody. We want to make it easy to support somebody. That it like helping somebody should not be hard.
That
It
part.
really shouldn't.
That part. Say it, say it for the people in the back. Say it for the people in the
Yeah.
back.
I'm not yelling. I told you I don't yell.
I'm Latino. I can yell. So let's do. Let me ask you this now to bring it back a little bit to your own content, your own streaming. I think it's important also to talk about what is that you are most passionate about. What do you like as far as streaming is concerned? Like, what kind of genres do you usually play on stream?
Games that people consider to be hard. So like Darkest Dungeon, Dark Souls, the whole series. Um, in one note, League of Legends is also considered hard sometimes too. Just I like difficult games. I like challenges. I like to have a challenge in a game, and it lets me push for something while playing it. Like right now, I'm actually in the middle of doing like I said, I'm playing Darkest Dungeon. I'm playing on the hard mode, which, as I told you before, it has that like permadeath option. Oh, sorry, it's not an optional. It's just when people
It's
die,
life.
they're dead. They're dead. But on the hard mode, if you lose a certain amount of people in your party, the game's just over. You lose the entire file. It's just over. You gotta start over. So,
That's
so I'm trying
wild.
that. I'm trying that out, and I'm having fun with it. It's a lot of fun. I like games that people can feel like that they can just like stop in whenever, and there's no real story that they need to follow per se. So like Darkest Dungeon as an example again is very um almost like just it's like every single dungeon you go into is generated, so like you get to have like a new experience each time, but it's also a familiar experience that people can just pop in and see what's going on. And like I named the characters after the people in chat, and they're like, "Well, am I dead yet?" I'm like, "No, you're not dead yet." And there is someone that has died 4 times in my previous file, and they're like, "Did you kill me again?" I'm like, no, I promise. I'm trying to make everybody live because it's hard
That's
mode.
like
Like,
Call of the
and I
Lamb thing that
have
you
a
do too.
limit. I have a limit of death, so I'm not going to let you die this time. Promise. But
Oh
yeah.
my god! So I assume you also play Elden Ring too, and
Yep.
Sekiro and
Yes.
everything.
I recently played through all of the Soulsborne series.
Hmm.
And then afterwards, I did a few challenge runs. I did Dark Souls 3, level 1, all bosses. I did Elden Ring, level 1, all major bosses, because there's like 164, I think, in that game. But like all of like the major bosses of the game, I did level 1. Even
When you say level one, does that mean like you don't, like you're insanely inexperienced to go into the dungeon and fight the boss?
are you familiar with Millennia?
Yes.
Yeah, I fought her level 1 beater.
Are you?
I mean, it took like 16 hours, but yeah, I did it eventually. It was so I think I stream for like 3 hours a day usually, on like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, but it was like
It just took almost 3 days, but I did it.
yeah, it was like I think 6 streams of Millennia. Yeah, because it was 2 weeks of 3 days a week. So it took me 6 streams to beat Millennia, but eventually I got there. It was just like incremental progress. And you know what? I After this is over, I will send you the video of the
Please,
kill. So
please
you can
do so.
enjoy
Please
it.
do so.
You can see the progress. It's because these boss fights are so difficult. Basically, if you get hit once, you're dead. But
Hmm.
yeah, it's fun though. It's a
One
lot of
shot
fun. I
kill,
love it a
pretty
lot.
much.
Yeah, yeah. Every single boss fight, like after like the first third of the game, everything just kills you instantly.
Oh my god! Major shout out to you. Like that is, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. That is wild.
I'll tell you
And
how I do
I
it.
these games.
Nose to the wall. I am bloodied and bruised. That, like I said, 16 hours. 16 hours is how long it took.
Wow, that
Yeah,
is.
I will say what was cool though, of not to like like sidetracking at all, but Dark Souls 3, that run, level 1, all bosses, every single boss in that run did not take more than 1 stream. So actually, I should say no boss survived more than a stream,
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
except for the last one. But it was really awesome making that kind of progress.
And it obviously is it's a rewarding feeling because you're like, not only do I beat your ass, I beat your ass with 0 points of experience. That
Yeah,
is
I'm pretty sure I punched Millennia to death basically. So
that is wow. I bet you slept like a baby after Melania.
oh man, I think it was like the very end of that stream too. Like there were definitely a few boss fights that were taking a while, and then I beat them like the very end of the stream. It's like, okay, well, this last attempt has to be there, or else I have to end stream, and then it happens. It's like, okay, cool, it's over.
I bet I don't know. Are you a drinker?
I don't drink alcohol or coffee or anything. I like water.
You know what I give you major respects. I give you major respects because I feel like if you were a drinker, you would be like, okay, I'm done. Okay, goodbye, everyone. Just open a cold brew, just sitting back and be like, I did
See, I have tried alcohol. I just think it's gross. I just can't drink it. Same thing with coffee. I can't drink it. It's gross. It's all gross to me. Like
Beer
Robbie
is
has given me the fruitiest cocktails and drinks and whatever things that like just basically fruit punch essentially. And
yeah.
it's just I take a sip. It's like I taste the alcohol like a little bit, and I'm done. It's off putting. I can't do it.
I
I
feel
don't
you
like
on
the
that.
taste of alcohol at all.
Especially beer. Beer is like an acquired taste. You gotta find the right beer, like because or else it just tastes like
Yeah,
piss.
you gotta get peer pressured in high school.
Yeah, yeah, and even then, when I was like, when I was someone that may or may not be of age to ingest that type of beverage, which I will not be specifying which type of beverage. It was like, damn, this does not taste good. I don't know how men do it. When I say men,
No.
I mean like when because when you grew up in a Latino community, you see, the men gathering around, with the cigars or the cigarettes, just having a beer next to them. And I'm like, I don't know how y'all do it. I
Yeah.
still don't. I still don't know how to do
Nope.
it.
I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm getting you. And before we take a little break, I wanted to ask you this. Because you've been around for, when you started streaming around, like, what, 3, 4 years ago, what you will say?
Basically around the time Stream for Cause started. So yeah, 3 years ago, three and a half years ago.
So, what would you say, taking everything into consideration, what would you say is like the biggest highlight of your streaming career so far?
Millennia.
Just one word.
Besides Millennia, I would have to say I did a co event with a friend of mine I made through streaming. His name is Fredo Dorican, also on Twitch. Um, and I made friends with him, and we did a 12-hour charity event together, and it was just the most fun. It wasn't like an accomplishment, but it's just like I think like the most fun I've ever had on streaming. Just like doing that duo stream with him for 12 hours. I think so one of the charity incentives for that stream was we were playing DVD the entire time. If someone donated $50, it was half an hour of no mither games for both of us.
Oh.
When the stream started, someone donated, I think, upwards of 4 hours worth of no mither.
Work.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. Because actually, we escaped more with no mither than we did when we finally got rid of it.
Well, I think people like as a killer, you kind of look at the no mirror characters and you be like, "Oh,
Oh no!
you sweet child."
It was brutal. People were going after us.
Well, I
100%.
do it. That made me more curious. I do it. I give a little bit more lenience to people that run no mither. I mean,
I don't.
if you bother me, I will beat your ass. But but yeah, I do that. Can you tell us again what the person that you did that charity with, that charity stream with?
Yep, Fredo Dorican.
Frito.
Yeah, Fredo, like Alfredo.
Uh huh.
Fredo Dorican.
Go check them out, please and thank you. Please do so. Thank you, thank you. All
Yes,
right.
he very very loud, very I would say very vulgar, but very nice.
What a lovely way to sell it. Oh god. Anyway, we have more to talk about, but let's take a little bit of a break and we'll be back with more ModRaiders podcast. See you in a bit. And we're back with more ModRaiders podcast. Today I have the lovely Mintias underscore Fox as a lovely human that is not only a content creator, a streamer, but on top of that, a director of operations for the charity organization called Stream for a Cause. So, Mintias, let me ask you this, because I know you have an upcoming commitment, and I want to make sure that we get as much information as much as we can.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit about your username. What made you decide to pick Mintias underscore Fox as your username on Twitch?
Well, first of all, I love foxes a lot. Actually, there is this thing right here on my wall. That's also covering up a giant hole, by the way.
That is
Not a hole, but
adorable.
some of the paint got like peeled off from something we did, and we didn't have the actual color on hand, so we just kind of just like slapped this on the wall.
Love that.
But no, foxes are my favorite animal besides dogs, which are basically the same thing. And the mintiest part. So I used to go by Dubin, which was like a combination of Dutch and Cuban.
Okay.
And it was a name that I shared with my brother when we were like on Xbox Live. We only had enough money for like one subscription, right? And so we shared an account, and it was called That Dubin. And eventually when I got older, like in high school, moving out of the house, eventually I had to get my own name because it was his name essentially. He came up with it. We just kind of shared it.
Mm.
So the Mintius actually comes from. It's not really an obscure game. I guess that it's more obscure now because I don't really play it much anymore. But there is an old, semi-old MMO called Dungeon Fighter Online.
Okay.
It's like like those arcade machines like TMNT and like the side-scrolling beat 'em up games.
Hmm.
Imagine that concept turned into an MMO.
Okay.
It's very anime-ish. It's very flashy. It kind of it came around that same time period as like when MapleStory came out.
Okay.
So they've both been around like the same amount of time. But there was a character in the game who was like a merchant, and her name was like Mintai, like Mintai, and I saw the name. I was like, that's a very cute name, so I'm gonna just like take that and change it a little bit. And then I just slapped on the fox at the end because I like foxes, and that's how it
Okay.
kind of came to be. I've been trying to slowly drop the fox because I just like Mintius. I like more than anything else, but um currently taken on Twitch, so I can't.
I feel you on that. Sometimes it's difficult to find the proper user. For instance, mine has an I at the end because someone took the Y. So I can't be Asdruboi with a Y. I have to be Asdruboi with an I because someone took the
I
Y.
like it with the I, so you better change it. Or
Yeah.
yeah, sorry, you better leave it. You change it, I'm gonna complain.
You're gonna come for me. Everyone's gonna be like, "Why didn't you
We
change it?"
may or may not have contacts at Twitch.
You may or may not be right. So,
But
tell
yeah,
us a bit also about your emotes. What inspired your emotes? Do you know? Can you tell us a bit about who made them? Like, what is the inspiration behind them?
the inspiration is whatever dumb thought I have in my head at the time turns into an emote. As for who did them, actually, funny you mentioned that because literally her DM with me on Discord is right below yours.
Love that.
And her name is Arthanis. Arthanis, and she's on Twitch too. She doesn't really stream, but she's from Chile. She's super nice. I met her through a volunteer actually. She was a viewer in their channel, and eventually I made friends with her, through that channel. And then eventually she just popped into my stream one time, and then she's been there ever since. And she's a really nice friend of mine now. Which, by the way, is also another really cool reason why I love Twitch so much and streaming is because I get to meet people from across the world.
That
I have
part.
two of my closest friends now. One is from Chile, which is Arth, and the other one is from Austria. So definitely a nice bag of people. And then you got my white ass here. So I say that, but I'm also Cuban, so I don't know.
You're Cuban wet ass.
There you go.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah,
I'm a with
but
southern wet ass.
yeah, that's my one allotted swear word. I promised myself that, so I'm taking it.
I love
But
that.
yeah, so she already had some artistic skill. And she eventually found her cable to actually, use her trackpad. And she's just like, "Hey, I want to do some emotes for you." And I was like, "She's like, what do you want?" I was like, "Oh, I'm on the spot. I have no idea." And I eventually got back to her. Sometimes the ideas come from some dumb thought while I'm streaming, or just like I see a meme on the internet, and I just like, "Hey, I want this as a emote," basically. Like, do you know that like emo or not the meme, but the meme of like the big rat being like grabbed,
I
the big
don't
fat
think
rat?
I do.
Okay, well there's a rat that got like internet famous because it's like big and chunky, and it was like someone's pet, and they were like holding it just like this, and it got just like super popular, and I want to basically like have my little like fox basically be grabbed like that. as an emote. That's an idea I still have, but like I just have other ones like that that are like in my head that are just silly. Um, they come to me. It's fun. I like them.
Sometimes just have fun with your emotes and just be like, you
Yeah,
know what? Fuck it. Let's just make it weird. Whatever.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. Usually they just come from other memes I see or other ideas I see, uh, and stuff like that.
I love the fact that you said the rat meme, but only thought of, I don't know why. I thought of a video once. It was in New York where there's a giant rat dragging a pizza slice through the subway. That's
I've seen that one. Yeah,
that shit is wild. New York is crazy. So Vintius, so that we can wrap things up, I
yeah.
wanted to ask you two last questions. Number one, what would you say is a tip you can give to someone that is not only starting stream, but also someone that's going to start doing charity streams as well? What would be your recommendations?
Definitely first. Okay, actually, I have an answer for both those.
Mhm.
They're separate answers. The first one, if you're starting streaming, literally just talk at your computer, talk to yourself out loud. You have to, literally, you have to.
Yeah.
You will have almost nobody join your stream. If you let's say you're streaming DVD and you have like TTV in your name, as most people do that are streaming. If the game's over and someone comes into your stream after the game's over and you're sitting there with no viewers and you're just sitting there just like silent, not playing the game. No, sorry, silent but playing the game. There's nothing going on. They're just gonna leave. They're not gonna say a word. They
Yeah.
might say like hi, GG, and that's it, and leave. Um, but it's talking out loud. It gets you comfortable with streaming
Mhm.
faster. It gets you more confident in what you're talking about, and you can talk about anything. Just talk about anything that's happening in the game. Talk about things that happened in your day. Talk about things you like. Just if you just talk out loud, literally, it does so much. And actually, it was a huge confidence boost for me.
Yes.
Something I didn't mention before when you were asking about me, about who I am. I used to be, I mean, I still am, but I was a very, very shy individual. Robbie definitely helped with that, but also streaming helped with that too. And now I can like talk to basically whoever. I mean, I'm here talking like, so this is my first podcast.
You're doing great, by the way. You're doing amazing.
Thank you. But yeah, just talk. That's literally it. Just talk. If no one's there, talk like somebody's there.
Hmm.
And then for the other answer, um, establish a community. I know that's what everybody says, but it's actually important for doing charity streaming. Yes, I've seen people that have come into become a volunteer. They have like less than 100 followers. They just hit affiliate. They want to do a charity stream to celebrate, and they don't really have like they don't have a consistent community yet. They don't have like people they know. We have seen communities of like super tight knit people raise thousands of dollars. Whereas I've seen someone who is a partner level streamer who just is like entertaining to watch, but like doesn't interact with their community at all. They've raised like only $1,000. I've like it's obviously it comes down to just like is there somebody with a lot of money in my chat, right? But it's also like having a community that trusts you and trusts what you're passionate about can make a difference in a charity stream in reaching your goals. And also just set some reasonable goals. Like start small. Learn what your community can actually handle in terms of a charity
Yes.
event, and then go from there. But yeah,
And you have to
so
be real about it too. Like
yeah,
just be sincere. Don't feel like you have to aim for like the 1,000, 2,000, or something like that. Start small. Start small, and you go from there. And if it surpasses everything, wonderful. Yeah, and if that happens, have two more incentives just in case.
yep. Always have a backup plan. And if you
Exactly.
don't, just honestly, just go ask your community. Your community always has ideas for you too. If you have people that you talk to a lot, everyone has a different working brain. They will have
Hmm.
an idea for you that you may or may not like. If you don't like it, but it's a good idea, you probably should do it though, because they just paid you money. Well, they paid the charity money.
Yes, exactly. And for one final question, when we stream, when we finish and we're saying our goodbyes and our thank yous and everything, we always like to read out to someone,
Yeah.
where is a friend or someone that you got recommended, whatever. Let's just say you're streaming right now, you're ending stream. You can raid out to anyone you want. Everyone is live. Who will that person be and why?
That'll honestly. Well, that's a tie. Crap. Huh.
I'll give you
That's
two
tough.
options. How about that? I'll give you two options.
I would say, name I mentioned before, but Fredo Dorigan, because he's very nice. He's very welcoming to everybody. Yes, he's vulgar and very loud. But truth be told, I I swear a lot. Not here, obviously, because it's your podcast and I don't know the
You're being
rules yet.
professional, mama.
Hey, I had my one cuss word. I'm allotted since my contract here, so I think I'm good. And it
Yes.
wasn't even a bad one either. I didn't even drop an F bomb. I gave you,
I,
babies for a swear word.
I think you said ass, and that's it.
Yeah. Uh, actually, funny story, quick. So my sister, when she turned 18, she's the oldest of the kids here.
Mhm.
When she turned 18, I remember I was still 10, and she's just in her bedroom, and my mom was with her in her bedroom, and she's like, "Mom, I'm 18, ass." And it was just like, sure,
So
why not?
excited about life. I
Yeah,
love
it was so funny. But yeah, what was the question?
that. Who you raid out to? You already said one person.
Yes, Fredo Dorigan, absolutely. And I would also raid Usual Joe.
Usual Joe. Hmm.
Yep, without the no E at the end, just like Usual Jo.
Okay.
They are also an extremely nice individual. If I had a third option, it'd also be Christine underscore, because I'm just gonna toss it out there too. Like all three of them, they're all in that friend group that I made. They're all just super nice. They're all super welcoming. They're wonderful people. Um, they're all volunteers as well, but like they have definitely been a huge influence on like how I perceive just other people that are also streamers. Like they are genuine people that will tell you what's up, and they also will be the nicest people to you and will be there for you. So they're all great, all three. I you said two, you gave me two, but I'm giving you three.
Valid.
Yeah.
Well, this has been such a lovely conversation. Mintius, thank you so much for taking time of your very, very busy schedule and for waiting for me because I had to come in late. I was working the entire day of information stand. My brain is 100% going to be resting after this. But thank you for waiting. I really do appreciate it. I know you shouldn't have, but I really do thank you for it. And thank you so much for giving us this lovely interview, giving us more contents about Stream for a Cause, about you yourself as a streamer, about allowing us to get to know you a little bit more. I feel like I get to know you a little bit more now, which is absolutely incredible. And please, please do share. Where can we find you in the digital world? Where we can find you at?
So you can find me on Twitch at Mintius_Fox, which is going to be on Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 a.m. EST. I stream early in the morning, so I have a
ESC?
big like lurking work crowd. They all love it. You also can find me on Twitter at, I believe it's just Mintius Fox without the underscore. Actually, I'm gonna check real quick because I'm not
We're
100%
doing a
sure.
little check. We're doing a little check.
Yeah, it is just Mintius Fox, no underscore. But other than that, I don't really do social media very often. But I do have a Discord that is always welcome to all, as everybody else does that too. I'm sure we've all heard that a million times from everybody else, but it truly is. Plus, I am working on for those who are more nerdy or who like card games. I do have a Commander Discord for Magic the Gathering, which is a also welcome to all. Um,
Nice.
it's starting to develop and it's really cute and people are having a great time, which is all I care about. But yeah, Twitch, Twitter, Discord. My handle is just at Mintias on Discord. And then also, if you ever want to become a volunteer with Stream for a Cause, just go to our website, streamforacause.org, and there's a volunteer sign up page. You'll get an email from us, you'll join our Discord, you'll talk with me or whoever, and we will get you completely, situated. We want to make sure that everybody is comfortable with everything, no matter what it is. Yeah.
Yes, to be 100% clear, it is streamforacause.org so you can volunteer to be a part of the amazing charity work that Stream for a Cause does. Also, you can find them in social media as well. They are on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram as well. They have a Discord server as well. And I can 1000% vouch for them. I love working with them, especially with Ryan, because, for Mintius, because, damn it, I wanted
Hey,
to
no,
go
you
to this.
you told them as well that they would hear it later, so
Oh, I did. God damn it!
you did.
More information on the website. But But I 1000% recommend it. Like Mintius was the one that guided me to really set everything up. Such thank you so much again for helping me out
Of
that
course.
time last year. I can't wait to work with you all again this year. And I
Yeah.
know that they have an open call so that way you can participate in the volunteer work because they have a major event for Pride Month. So please
Yes.
go check out streamforacause.org to find more information about how can you participate and be a part of a such a lovely initiative to give money to small charities, but to make sure that they get the proper funding so they can do more work for the good benefit of the humankind. Okay. And yes, again, thank you so much. You can also
Thank
find
you.
me at Asdruboi. I'm on Twitter at least 3 to 4 times a week. I'm usually on Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, and Sunday. Times may change. And you can also find me on social media. And also check out ModRaiders. You can find it on YouTube if you're watching, or you can also hear it on Spotify. So you can go check us out. Give us a subscription, give a thumbs up, share your favorite part of the episode, and I will see you all very soon. Have a lovely rest of your day.
Bye.
Goodbye. We did it!